This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of June 3rd, 2024. Did you feel the energy shift when Jupiter moved into the sign of Gemini on May 25th? This week makes it unavoidable and unmistakable that we are in a very different atmosphere than we've been surviving in the last few weeks. The energy is shifting from the Taurian focus on earthly matters, resources, the here and now, and flying off into a much more free-flowing, free-form, multifaceted, here and there, playful, trickster vibe with an emphasis in the sign of Gemini. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, enters the sign on the 3rd for a very short stay, not even 3 weeks, and immediately raises the noise and chatter level, increases the information flow and our curiosity and our inability perhaps to stay on topic, with a caveat. Mercury's first act as he enters his sign is a meeting with Pluto in Aquarius, which has the effect on the 4th of bringing really important, powerful, monumental, profound information, secrets, truths to the surface. It also streamlines and refocuses our thinking, our conversations to things that are important, perhaps in the long run, perhaps for the collective over the next, let's say 20 years, because Pluto has just begun a 20-year stay in the sign of Aquarius. Pay attention to where your thinking goes. Pay attention to what light bulbs go off or what switches go down in your own conversations, your thinking, your perspectives, and do pay attention to what is happening in the larger conversations on the 4th. You think we've been living in a 24/7 news cycle? Well, it's only going to be more and more hectic and crazy, because as Mercury makes that trine to Pluto, it also meets with Jupiter, which expands everything it touches. And at the same time, the Sun is merging with Venus in the sign, bringing multitasking and juggling and needs for breathing room, and also awareness of women, relationship issues with Venus. June 4 is a profoundly important date for this reason. We've got Mercury and Jupiter fused at the beginning of the sign, the Sun and Venus fused at the middle of the sign. Optimism and high spirits should abound. And then this leads to the Gemini new moon on the 6th, bringing all kinds of fresh new ideas and projects into all of the new moon intentions, wishes, relaunches, fresh starts that the moon is setting in motion. The noise level will be loud, loud, loud. This is turning the monitor up to 11 and then some. Lots of sociability, lots of running around, lots of not being able to be pinned down on anything, lots of not being able to pin anybody down on anything until the 8th, when cosmic breaks come in and say, whoa, contain the noise, contain the running around, contain the options, don't date 5 people, choose 1, choose 2. Don't juggle 15 projects, focus on a few of them, with Venus squaring Saturn. And this is presaging a demand for containment that's going to repeat at the end of August and around Christmas Eve, when Jupiter and Saturn square. In August, close to where this week's Venus-Saturn square occurs. You may feel a little woozy when this happens. You may have your intuition or your gut telling you to do something, and it will be your instinct to ignore it or brush it under the carpet, but that feeling isn't going to go away with Mars in a semi-sextile to Neptune at the same time. This is Mars's parting gift before he finally leaves the sign of Aries, his home base, and on the 9th moves into Taurus, Venus's realm, the masculine doing the bidding of the feminine. Mars in Taurus is very tactilely focused, working with resources. The actual sound of all of the words could become important. Taurus rules the throat as well as the voice. So our minds may be running around like crazy off in the clouds, running after one beautiful shiny object after another, but our follow-through, oddly, will be very meticulous and earthy and earthly and resource-oriented. Mars's stay in Taurus is going to help ground us while there is so much talk and information flying around. Mars is in Taurus until the middle of July, and by the middle of this month, he'll be back in cooperation with Venus when she moves into Cancer on the 17th. There's one more tap on the cosmic break. As the weekend ends, the Sun squares Saturn and echoes the demand for containment and commitment and responsibility and maturity of the Venus-Saturn square on the 8th. It may be as simple as becoming aware that you do not have the energy to run in 50 zillion directions and scaling back on what it is you are trying to do. One more tap of the break is coming next week when Mercury squares Saturn on the 12th. As far as this week goes, notice what's flying around. Notice where your thoughts are going. Let them go as far as they want to be. Be highly curious. And pay attention when the urge to, or the nudge to, the demand to slow it down, contain it, hits. Homing thought of the week. I am open to possibility. Song of the week, Winds of Change by Scorpions. And the image of the week is Curious George skydiving. You'll learn more about this in my forecasts for the Gemini new moon and the month of June, both of which are up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and get a Jupiter in Gemini quick reference guide as a thank you for subscribing, and book a session with me. If you are in the Houston area, I am scheduling in-person appointments during the week of June 11th. Send me a message through my website for more information. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. And this week, my guests are Marie Jones and Denise Agnew, authors of the just-released book, Everyday Magic. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, including at the double bonus Astro-Insight tier, a discussion of how the Gemini new moon is activating the U.S. chart. And I'm really grateful for the people who support my work there. I host lively conversation on Facebook, on the page Empowerment Unlimited, and in the group, the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.